I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring the astonishing phenomena in the Lazarus Syndrome. Why Can't I Die? It's written by a terrific author, one of my favorite guests. His name is Jaime Reyes, and this collection delves into incredible resuscitations, near-death experiences, and out-of-body experiences, blending gripping personal memoir with cutting-edge medical research. If you're fascinated by miraculous revivals and the mysteries of life and death, this is a conversation you will not want to miss. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his remarkable book. The links are below this interview. Jaime, great to have you back on the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Tell us what inspired you to write The Lazarus Syndrome and how your personal experiences influenced the book.
My publisher wanted another book after the first one, and he wanted a sequel. I wasn't ready for a sequel to the first one, so I had been thinking about this book for a while because I have been hearing stories about the Lazarus Syndrome, but I didn't know it had a name, although I have experienced it myself quite a few times. And the name was coined a couple of years ago, and I just didn't know the situation was that frequent. It is rare. What is unfrequent is the reporting of it. The doctors were afraid to report it because they're afraid of lawsuits, malpractice suits, so they kept it quiet. And
You hear these stories that people wake up in a morgue, they wake up in a body bag, they wake up in a hospital after they've been pronounced dead. They're actually at their own funeral and they're still alive. It's remarkable that this phenomenon, this syndrome actually exists, right?
yes, some people even awaken at the first incision during an autopsy, and the pain brings them back to life, and they oh, shit, it scares the hell out of the doctors.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate is that it happens. People have come back after they're buried.
Yeah.
That was more common long before, because some religious beliefs want the body not involved. They want the body buried within 24 hours, and they don't wait long enough to see if the person's really dead. But um, it's not as frequent now. But back in the 1800s, 1900s, people of means used to pay to have contraptions put into the coffin. For example, a rope attached to a bell outside the coffin. In case they woke up, they would ring the bell.
I'm
And
not dead. I'm not dead.
I'm not
Right?
dead. Well, actually, that's where the term "saved by the bell"
Wow.
and "dead ringer" comes from.
Huh.
Those two phrases come from that situation. And some people, famous people, I forget their names, but some of them had to make sure they would not wake up underground because that would be terrible. They
Yeah.
would have their hearts taken out before they were ready. If I die, I want my heart. They had it in their will, take out my heart, or cut me, or stab me, or do something. Make sure I'm dead. I don't
Amazing.
want to wake up underground.
When you were
And
doing your research, Jaime, was there one story that really like made your eyes pop out? You're like, wow, can you believe this happened? Tell us about that.
well, I was looking for situations that resembled mine. Because, for example, uh, I was stillborn, and I found one that fascinated me because it was Pablo Picasso, the famous painter. His birth was almost identical to mine. He was declared dead at birth. He was a blue baby, couldn't breathe. He was dead. But his uncle, who happened to be a doctor, doctors didn't deliver babies back then. It was a midwife delivering. The midwife said he's dead. She put the Pablo aside, and then the uncle came by to look at him, but he saw a little twitch. I said, no, no, he's alive. So they brought him back to life the same way they did me with cigar smoke. They blew cigar smoke in his face. And I don't know what that does, but that was 1881. They used the same method on me in 1945, 60 some years later. So I put him first on the list because he was so close to mine own event. And
Amazing.
it was
So when
and
you were
then
born, the doctors presumed you were dead. You were lifeless.
the midwife. I first of all, my mother was very small. She was 4 foot 11, and she weighed maybe 80, 90 pounds, and I weighed 11 pounds. I was
Mm.
too big, and I got stuck on the way out, and I suffocated. I turned blue, and I was she when they finally got me out. They called the doctor in the meantime because the midwife couldn't do it all. But they finally got me out. They threw me aside. And my mother tells me that she kept looking at me. She saw my pinky move or twitch. And she started yelling, he's alive, he's alive. So they brought me back. They would, like an accordion, they
Mm.
fold me back and forth. And they blew cigar smoke in my face. Lucky there was somebody that was smoking a cigar. I was born at home, not in the hospital. So
Amazing.
anyway, they brought me back, and because of that, I had a very sickly childhood. I would get these massive seizures, and I would stop breathing.
Mm.
I would flop around like a fish out of water, and I would stop breathing. And my father would run me to the hospital, which is nearby. But every time I got there, tell him, no, it's too late. He's dead. Take him back home. And I don't know how many times I did that, but I did it quite a few times. And another side to that, my mother stopped believing in the doctors. They couldn't. They said they told her I would not live past 7 because I'd done it too many times. So she made a religious offering. They call it they made a vow or a promise to a virgin of the island, and she vowed that she would not cut her hair and she would wear a habit, a monk's habit, for
Mm.
7 years. But the problem is she included me in that same situation.
Mm.
They didn't cut my hair, and I had to wear this monk's habit for 7 years. And I was a 6, 7 year old boy walking around they braided my hair in pigtails and wearing this ugly ass dress, and I would get all these remarks. Oh, people would come by. Oh, what a cute little girl, and I would lift my the habit up as, oh, I'm a boy, I'm a boy. But anyway, my mother started putting pants underneath me after that. After I did that a few times, but somehow I recovered. I don't believe that it was a miraculous intervention. I just figure I grew up, I got older, I got stronger, and I recovered. And I didn't have any more events until 2017. Had a massive heart attack. I flatlined twice. Got two more deaths. They didn't think I was gonna live, but I fooled them before. They called the family in to see when they were gonna pull the plug because I was on life support. But they said, no, no, he's done this before. We're gonna wait. And they waited, and I resuscitated. I came back
Amazing.
better than before. Well, not quite. My heart's in
Exactly.
bad shape, but but still. So anyway, but I did a few fascinating ones. One, there was a countess, I forget her name, in the 1800s. She was declared dead shortly after her wedding, and there was the groundskeeper, the guy that would dig the grave, was watching, and saw that they put her in a coffin with a ring, with a fancy ring on, and they buried her. Well, that night he snuck into the graveyard and dug the lady out.
Mm.
When he dug her out, she woke up and scared the hell out of him. He ran away, but she climbed out of the grave and walked back home. In fact, the path she took, they call it the Countess's path. And she lived another 40, 50 years. I mean, she
Amazing.
just came back. There's
Amazing.
been quite a few situations. There's
How does this affect your faith? Does this make you feel closer to God, believe in an afterlife, believe in heaven, do you believe in hell? Tell us what your thoughts are and about that.
Well, I am a non-believer. Uh, And the thing is that the family of people that go through this, they don't know whether to thank the doctors or medical or heavily in intervention. I mean, it's a combination of both to them. Me, I'd rather thank the doctors.
Mm.
I was in a plane that got hit by lightning and went straight down for 1,000 feet, and everybody screaming, praying. I have more faith in two good pilots instead of 200 hands clasped in prayer. That's not going to stop the plane from falling.
Yeah.
But the pilots straightened it out, and and we got home all right. So
Your
I've had other close
experiences,
calls. Uh,
I was going to ask you, did your experiences in Vietnam, did that shape your perspective on life, death, and revival at all?
no, but I've had a lot of close calls. Well, I had a few in Vietnam, but not to the point that I died and came back. I had a mortar blow up my one of my buildings. A couple of people got hurt. I didn't get a scratch. Uh, I don't break easily for some reason. I don't know
Why
why.
can't I die? That's a
Why
question you
can't
must
I
ask
die?
yourself.
In the book I write maybe 15 years ago. I have totally wrecked 3 cars,
Mm.
and not all I got was a headache. I got hit by a car and thrown 20 feet. All I got was a few bumps and bruises. I don't break. I fell off a ladder 10 feet and landed on a concrete wall, at the edge of a wall, and all I got was severe pain, and I walked away like nothing. I I don't know. I don't know what it is. The most amazing experience. I'll try to make this quick. I drive to Florida twice a year. I don't like. I'm not crazy about flying after that incident. Uh, but on one of my trips about 8 years ago, I was on 95 doing 60 miles an hour. And when you travel 60 miles, you do a mile a minute. Remember
Right.
that little tidbit? I Somewhere in the middle of North Carolina, about 2 in the morning, I start shaking. I get this intense nervousness. I, I didn't s- I didn't hear a voice. I didn't get a premonition. I just knew that I had to stop. I just had to stop. So I pulled over, turned the car off, and I relaxed. I waited about 10 minutes. At the end of 10 minutes, a caravan of fire engines, police cars, rescue wagons was zooming by on the highway. I was still parked on the side, so I felt better, so I went behind them. About 10 miles down the road, I had to stop again because there was a massive accident. I had to pull over. And what had happened was a tractor trailer carrying telephone poles was coming north, and I was going south. It went across the median strip, the grass strip, uh, dumped his load of telephone poles, flipped over, and ended up on the side of the road where I was. And the thing is, I have no proof, but I know had I continued, I would have been there when that truck came across.
Amazing.
And at that time, I mean, again, I'm not a believer, so I don't like to. Uh, I don't believe in guardian angels. It's just something
Yeah.
about me that keeps me out of trouble. I don't know what it is. Now,
We're glad it,
I did
but
read later that trees, when they're in trouble from infestations of some kind right above, they signal other. This is unbelievable. They signal other trees through the roots, through other methods that they're in trouble, and they produce an enzyme that saves them from the critters. I was just reading. It's a few minutes just to revive my uh, reinstate my memory. I didn't write about that in the book, but I know I read that books. I mean, trees communicate. They don't know how, but there's also called something called uh, my my mycorrhizal mycorrhizal network, an underground network of roots and that they communicate. It's hard to believe, but uh, some religious beliefs, some people believe that we're all connected somehow. There's a connection among us.
whether it's
That is
energy,
easier to
whether it's
believe.
spirit, whether it's force, yeah,
They don't know what it's
yeah.
like the Force, like the Star Wars Force.
May the force
It
be with you.
well, I have a feeling that's the only explanation. I can't think of any other explanation other than I got a message through that invisible force that I had to stop.
Amazing,
Why
amazing.
why I possess that particular skill, I don't know. I'm also very empathic. I feel other people's pain.
Hmm.
When I see an accident, it bothers me. But this one I didn't see.
Right.
This one kept me from seeing it.
Right.
Thank
Well, we're
you.
glad you avoided that accident. We're glad you've cheated death multiple times. And we're glad you've documented a lot of your journey and other people's journey in this remarkable book. It's called The Lazarus Syndrome: Why Can't I Die? It is a collection that delves into incredible resuscitations, near-death experiences, and out-of-body experiences, blending gripping memoir with cutting-edge medical research. Jaime, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Very good. Thank you very much.
I
It's a
appreciate
pleasure.
your time. And to the
All right.
folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.
All right. Thank you.